I know that when I was growing up that life is tough. Even less than 10 years ago, when I was already the CEO of PropNex, I used to go to a McDonald at Toa Payoh. I'll just order a $2 cheeseburger and I will not order the drink, sometimes
Wow.
fries, sometimes not. It's just that I feel that it's not the right price.
Right. So it really is about what value means to you at the end of the day. In the hot seat, as you can see, we have Ismail Gafoor. If you've ever been in the market to buy or sell your home, chances are you would have come across the name of his company, PropNex. It's Singapore's largest listed real estate agency with a sales force of over 12,000 agents. He's a father of three and a self-proclaimed happy person. Look at that. Look at that smile. All right. Welcome to Money Talks, Ismail.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words and such a long introduction.
You're no stranger to Singaporeans out there. Tell our listeners one thing that most people may not know about you.
I can get angry too.
Of course.
Yeah.
What would make you angry?
Things that don't move the way it should. I don't like people to delay things.
How often does that happen?
Oh, no more. I now so much more older
So wiser.
with more wisdom. So I don't.
That's a good approach.
Yeah.
So you have before in the past talked about the tough childhood you had, right? You grew up in a one-room HDB flat with 5 siblings. You helped your dad deliver newspapers. Was there one particular incident that stood out to you in your childhood that shaped your attitude towards money?
I really felt that my dad was working very hard. And I also felt that my mom felt that was always never enough. Like whether I wouldn't say food on the table. We were quite luxurious as far as the basic necessities were concerned. I think in our childhood, we have never had a family holiday at all until never. No, as a family with my mom and dad. Other than, yes, visiting his hometown back to India. All of us, even my children, are so blessed that that like holidays are an given entitlement, not once a year, at least
Oh, yes.
twice a year.
Yep.
So, but well, different. But I think I know that when I was growing up, that life is tough.
How did that make you value money?
It took a long time for me, long time, that I have the desire to be able to spend a bit more freely. And now I can.
Okay.
I can. Yep. Even less than 10 years ago, when I was already the CEO of PropNex and the largest real estate company, really blessed with a lot of things. I used to go to a McDonald at Toa Payoh and stand there thinking what to order. My heart doesn't approve of ordering a value meal. I'll just order a $2 cheeseburger and I will not order the drink, sometimes
Wow.
fries, sometimes not. I bring it up to my room
Right.
and I enjoy it. It's just that I feel that it's not the right price.
Right. So it really is about what value means to you at the end of the day.
Yeah, but that behavior, surprisingly, is only something that I want to treat myself.
Right.
But when I want to spend on others, I'm very happy to see the delight in the faces of others. I used to be very generous with people around me, but not myself. But that changed in the last 8 years.
What was that turning point that made you, change your mind?
No, I went for some courses and some deep reflection. I deserve. I started to love myself more.
And do you feel better about yourself and your life and has that changed how you handle, your generosity, especially when it comes to money?
100%, I must say that. No, even in the past, as far as handling money and spending money, I never had an issue. But spending on myself has always been an issue. And when I start to love myself and spend a bit more on myself, that gives me the radiance and the energy and very positive vibes and comments. And I feel more loved. When you feel loved, you naturally tend to be more generous.
Yeah.
And I think it's
And
it's
there's
a
no
good thing.
better love than the love you have for yourself, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
8 years ago or so, I always say I thought if I put a ranking out of three things: family, career, self.
Yep.
Would you want to try? What would you rank?
Oh, wow.
Family, career, self.
That's exactly my ranking.
Yep.
I put my family first and then my career and then myself.
But then I realized after going through some enlightenment through courses that I attended, maybe even though I said family, but my focus, my energy was actually my business, my career, because I was too passionate about it. And because the truth is, while I'm at work, I get greater validation. Boss, you're good. Yep. We all of us want to feel loved.
Yeah.
So somehow, doesn't mean I didn't get or receive the love from home, but I was very much focused at work.
Yeah.
But I took a switch. My paradigm shifted. I repeat again. My paradigm shifted when I put self first, family second, career third. And when I do that, I get more energy. And I feel loved. And when I feel myself loved and with the right energy, when I go back home, I spread the love to my family.
It's radiating.
And they're happy to see me. Yep. And because of that, they support me. And that gives me all the energy I require back at work.
So it's cyclical.
Yes.
It's a nice little ecosystem
Yeah.
there.
When I put self last, what happened? I was much heavier in terms of weight because I was clocking hours in the office because I'm so focused with office. And because of that, I get tired. Even when I go back home, you get to be a bit highly strung.
Yeah.
You get agitated and so on. And what happened to the family? The children try to avoid you because I think daddy is not in the right mood. They have to predict the mood.
Yeah.
But then I realized I was not doing it right. So when I change this, things fall in place.
That's fantastic.
And the most interesting thing here is the money keeps flowing into you.
So the money didn't change.
In fact, it double.
All right.
Because you're a happy person.
Yeah. Positive energy.
And when you move around, people are happy to be with you. Not only family, your business associates, your partners, relationship with anyone. Because you're doing the right thing. And you are coming it from your heart. And because of such an ease, everybody worked more effectively and money grew.
That's fantastic. Although I have to ask, Ismail, that's not to discount the hard work that you did put in the earlier years of building your business, right?
I think beyond doubt, I suppose everyone works hard. Everyone works hard. That's given. Yeah, I think if you ask me some definite ingredient for success, I would say is discipline. And the right values, obviously.
Sure.
Because I don't think there's a shortcut. Anyone who's disciplined and work on it, and it's just a matter of time.
So I want to take you back to the time when you received your first ever check. Can you recall how much was that check worth? How did you feel when you were holding that check in your hands?
That was when I sold my property, and when the law firm called me upon the completion and handed over the check under the name of my wife and myself, and for sure, even on those days, I'm talking about in the early 1990s, more than 30 years ago, it was more than $100,000.
wow.
And holding on to the check is like, how the true feeling, even when you're walking out from the lawyer's office to the car park, you feel you're surrounded by Kenny G music moving on and on and on. It's not that the feeling of being rich,
Yeah.
that you feel like you have in abundance,
Yeah.
but you don't have a chance to feel that they are real.
I'm glad you brought up your wife because I remember back in 1996, you opened up Norris Consultants with your wife. And obviously that eventually became PropNex.
Yeah.
As a couple, what was your philosophy together when it came to money, both personally and professionally? Because it's one thing to manage your individual finances, but then you also are a working couple. You work together, so there's the professional finances to think about as well.
I think, honestly, I'm truly blessed. And I also believe anyone to be successful, you need both the partner to be aligned in terms of money sense and values as well.
Absolutely.
My wife is not a spendthrift at all.
When you were running the consultancy together, did you run into financial conflicts with one another, disagree on certain ways to run the business and, how to manage the finances of that business?
We never had an issue about managing the business finances.
Okay.
But obviously, we do have, I won't say issues, agreement and disagreement, the way the company need to be run. I'm a very numbered person. In fact, when I look at numbers, it floats and tell me stories.
Yeah.
When I open a financial statement, I know the health of it, good or are we in trouble. Her strength is in terms of curriculum development. She has got masters in training development. So that's her strength. So we blend both our strength when we started the company Norris Consultants, and we named it as Norris because we coined after both our name. My wife's name is Noraini, so the first four letters is Noor,
Right.
and my name Ismail, IS.
Right.
So that's how we started our real estate company.
Right. It's important for any couple to be on the same page to make sure that, finances are on track. What's the one thing that you and your wife have in common when it comes to a financial habit?
We have come to an agreement. We will not lend money to anyone. I'm not taking this opportunity because I'm talking about money. No. Because that is in a source of friendship and relationship being broken.
Okay. Interesting.
But we say that we can give money to people who are in need,
Sure.
and we just bless them with the expectation not receiving it back. But if we receive it back, we take it as a blessing. If it is not at the start, we already say we are decided to give.
You're right.
Because the main reason here is this was our earlier days,
Sure.
even before we became an entrepreneur. Okay, because I think money can be the root of the problem, and because of money, and you feel so attached to money,
Yeah.
and then your emotions go all over, friendships can be ruined. So this is one agreement that we had, whether it is from my friends, my side, or her friends or her side. But if we ever decide to give, we don't need to consult each other. If it is within our range of pocket money for them to help with themselves and the family for a week's meal or what, no problem. If somebody wants to ask X amount of $1,000, we don't have the right to give unless we both of us discuss and then we think is okay, then we can. So that's one part of it. The next part here is this: we never overstretch ourselves beyond our means. I always felt in order to create wealth, it is, at least through my experience, it's very difficult to save money. But if you commit into a right asset class, while we are working harder, the property to keep appreciating with inflation. So every time when we sell, we unlock. You remember I said got a couple of 100,000, but we never took the 100 or 1,000 to went on a frenzy holiday or what. The bulk of it we reinvested into a higher value property. Obviously, we spent some,
Sure.
but bulk of it,
Yeah.
and we built the wealth until a time that we were able to sell multiple properties, or now we are in a position to decide how we want to manage our life.
I think that's an incredible story, and some of that advice I wish I had when I was in my younger years. So thank you for that. I'm sure a lot of people will benefit from that.
But
A lot of
I'm
couples will
Andrea, I
benefit
just want to
from
say
that.
it's never too late. Trust me, it's never
I
too
agree.
late.
I
It's never
agree.
too late.
Yeah.
Because honestly, because a lot of people disqualify themselves that maybe I should have done in the past and now it's not the right time and I'm not. I would strongly suggest to anyone, it really doesn't matter where you are right now, but it's to pause a moment and to reorganize as far as financial. First, start with a health check and what is the next step you want to take.
Yeah.
And we would be able to save fair amount of money, but if you only know where to cut, what to cut.
Yeah.
For example, some of us may be paying a monthly mortgage on our property that could be on a higher interest level.
Yes.
And by just taking a proactive approach to understand and speaking to few other mortgage lenders, either your own bank to say that, hey, I've been your loyal supporter over the last 5 years
Yeah.
and I'm paying a much higher interest rates than the new people that you're trying to bring them on board. Can I have that similar treatment? The bank will give it to you.
Everything can be negotiated.
And if the bank don't want to give it to you, and there's no reason why the bank won't, you shift to another bank, then you become their new darling.
Yeah.
So, but you saved money.
Yes.
Yeah. And it can go to a couple of hundreds to thousands depending on the amount of the loan.
Correct.
This is only one aspect, right?
Yeah.
But when we just pause a moment and look at all our finances, be it, is it a mobile plan? Maybe we see what
Yeah.
data are we using and what we are not using. And some habits,
Yes.
or whether is it out dining and what. If you just reorganize a bit, we can have some savings.
So you have 3 children. They have grown up in a very different financial environment than you did in your childhood. So how did you teach them about money?
I don't spoil them. What do you think? Maybe I just want to also gauge myself. What do you think is fair? Someone who's 19 and going on 20,
Right?
what is a fair amount of a monthly allowance?
Wow, I don't know what kids spend on these days. I mean, they're
Yeah.
very different from what I spent on when I was a 19-year-old. I'm gonna go say 1,000. I would say. I mean, give and take inflation and the things that
How
kids
about
spend
put
on.
my status and their expectations and so on?
I'm gonna say more than 1,000.
How much?
I think they're gonna ask you for $3,000.
I give them monthly $450.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I got when I was a teenager. Wow.
So that's the same amount.
Right.
Because the family have everything. I mean, everything, the food is there on the table. Your $450 is just to spend on what you need.
Yeah.
And unless, of course, you need to purchase something of a necessity, I can give you for that amount. But you have to just tell me, Daddy, I need this. I need an iPad because it is broken. Or I need to buy something because I'm going to go for a certain event. I need this blazer. On a need basis, I'm prepared to spend.
Okay.
But as a pure cash in your hand, how you want to spend, I think you don't overly give them. So I basically, I want the children to know that money need to be valued.
Yes.
And you should spend your budget within your means. And I'm happy. In this amount of money that I give, they still have a savings.
Do you let them go to work part-time to earn extra
Yes,
money?
my elder girl, earlier part of the years, Norisha, my big girl, right now she's working for me for the last 3 years. She also graduated from UK. So when she came back, I put her through customer service operation for
start at the
1
bottom
year.
all the way
Then
up.
she came back home sometime in tears. Why work is so difficult, Daddy? I said, yes, darling, it's like that.
Yeah.
Then she moved on to HR department right now. So I just want her to know that it is not an entitlement. Just because your daddy is a CEO or we have more financial comfort. No. People have to go through in every aspect. So that's why I felt that the value of money is important from young. Actually, I can choose to give all the money, but that's not the right values being taught to them.
So you've been in real estate for over 30 years, Ismail. What are some of the common financial mistakes you've seen Singaporeans make when buying a home?
Any purchase comes with emotion. So I would suggest that anybody, especially if you want to buy any big ticket item, home is definitely a big ticket item.
Oh, yeah.
And it could be some others, it could be a car and whatever it is. Let's not jump into it just looking at it in the first instance, and that will become too much of an emotional involvement. But on the other hand, we cannot detach emotions from any purchase, because you must have a liking to be able to invest in that particular property. Always be prudent to buy within your means, and always have a reserve for minimum 6 months. Ideal is 1 year.
Yeah.
In the event you choose to leave your current job and restart something and you are not so stressed. I believe in something, and a term that I use quite frequently is known as delayed gratification.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. This is a weakness of people.
Yeah.
Some of them tend to spend more than what they are capable or earn just to put a show to the world that they are so-called good enough, or I have arrived. Buying branded goods, buying things that they have to pay on installment basis, choking up their credit cards. These are the things that truly actually bleed your financial health over time. It may be easy because today there's so many lenders, either professional from the bank institution you go and they're prepared to give you as many credit lines, or I'm quite sure many of them will receive in the phone call friendly providers who will always want to say ready to give you ready cash. But all these things comes with a catch. And when you don't manage it right, the interest will kill a person.
Yes.
And you lose your peace. And that's where, as you said, family breakups also can take place.
And as you said, you can't go to sleep at night having that burden in your mind, right? I think that's absolutely true. And I had to learn that the hard way myself, by the way. So Ismail, you always hear rich and successful people saying that, oh no, money isn't everything. But those who are less well off may perhaps say, well, that's because you already have that money. What do you say to that?
I won't say easily money is not everything. Money is something. But money cannot be everything. Okay. I mean, Steve Jobs had all the money, but it couldn't help him. And many of us, money cannot give us health. Money cannot absolutely give us joy. What is more important here is the contentment and non-attachment to money is important. Because I've seen families earning less than $5,000 and they're happy. But I've seen families earning $50,000 combined and not happy. So where do we stop then?
Yeah, correct.
So, but money is important. If you say you don't even have money for the basic necessities, that's tough. And therefore, I will say the only way to get out of it, work harder, never give up, always believe that I am good enough kind of on a mental state, go out there and get that money for your basic necessities. But you want to go beyond that, then one day you can say money is not everything, like most people say. That's okay, that's your call.
When they reach that stage, maybe I'll go and find out what their secret is. Ismail, it's been such a fun conversation. I'm so glad that we were able to get you to sit in this seat and talk to us and share your life's experience with us on Money Talk. So thank you very much. We've come to the fun part. There are 5 random questions in here. I'm going to toss them up. Your question from the hat is... Oh, this is a good one, especially after the conversation we just had. Ismail, what is pricey but always worth it?
Wow, that's too deep. I will say real estate is always pricey.
Yes, that's right.
But why do I say it's always worth it?
Mm.
If you want to have a good retirement, if you want to be financially free, your property will continue to appreciate, provided it's the right property,
Yes.
and you will have all the wealth when the time is right, and you'll be a happy person.
And outside of real estate, what would you deem as pricey but
Oh.
still worth it?
What is most important here is this: the time that you give and make for your loved ones is truly pricey, and you cannot put a price tag to it. When the time passes on, you can't go and hug and carry your daughter because she has outgrown. You have a space, you have a line, you have a
Yeah.
respect.
Mm-hmm.
And these are moments that you can bring it all the way till your grave. So to me, such time that you can allocate is important.
Mm-hmm.
Values, respect, once sometime broken, you can't take it back.
Yeah.
So you can't measure it through money.
All right, once more, thank you so much, Ismail Gafoor, for sitting in the hot seat on the Money Talks podcast today.
Truly my pleasure, Andrea.
Thank you as well for listening to us. And if you have any thoughts on what you've just heard, the offer is feel free to drop us a comment. A shout out to the team. Here's Tiffany Ang, Joanne Chan, Junaini Johari, and Saye Wint, our video editor, Hanida Amin. That's it for now. I will see you next week on the Money Talks podcast.